thus another season comes to an end. How has your spring been? Let me know in the comment section below. Normally I'd be talking about the next season in one of these videos, however I feel that it would be good to go the second mile, to be a little bit more forward looking. Most of us like action anime here, so I'd like to tell you about some of the shows that I'm personally very excited for. Today's list will get me through my top anticipated action anime of 2022 and 2023. We start with Vampire in the Garden. The forbidden union between man and a monster is a popular topic in fiction. Thus, Studio Wit brings us Vampire in the Garden, a new original anime that looks to expand on this theme even more. It tells of a world where men and vampires once lived together. Since then, the world has changed and become more divided than ever, with humanity being forced to stay behind walls, having lost their homes. Still, some long to return to that bygone era of harmony. The paths cross of Momo, a girl who wants nothing more than to play the violin, and Fine, the vampire queen who once had a heart for humans. When their paths cross, what fate awaits their journey? I know, let's get those AOT jokes out of the way now. It doesn't help that Wit is the studio for this. Beside that though, we don't have much info about the series as of now. Still, I see quite a lot to be excited about Vampire in the Garden. First off, the visuals look absolutely stunning. It surely is pivoting itself to be one of those classic looking shows, if you get what I mean. Also, I think that this will be one of those shows that combine action and drama with a dark atmosphere. Not something that you see in anime too often, although shows like these aren't as rare as I could have made it sound. Still, if you're up for something along the lines of Vanitas or Pandora Hearts in terms of feel, you could go for this once it drops on the 16th of May. We have Spriggan as the next entry on our list. Special ops men teaming up to fight each other over a legendary artifact? That's a great premise to sell, and Spriggan is an anime that combines it with some supernatural elements, government conspiracies, and a plot that takes you all over the world. Spriggan is not a new story, however. This is a modernized version of an old movie from the 90s. It looks to retell a story through current technology, and I think that the trailer gives us a good idea of what the show is all about. It's frantic, and it's something that will surely feed your craving for those high-octane action shows. This is probably the show to recommend to your friends who aren't too much into anime culture yet. It has all the traits of an action spy flick from Hollywood, and it could be a nice getaway to people who are fond of such films. Netflix bringing it over could also mean that you'll be able to binge the show when it gets released. We have My Hero Academia's 6th season. I had to do a double take. I remember when the show first hit the airwaves, and just like that, we've now got 6 seasons of this thing already. I knew back then that My Hero Academia was popular, but 2016 me didn't expect the show to have this much longevity. Then again, I should have. If only I had the ability to tell the future and look at the twists and turns the story's had since then. Now we're on our way to My Hero Academia's own war arc. With the villains having been united under Shigaraki's banner in the last season, it's time for our heroes to put up or shut up. It's the culmination of the Rise of Villain saga that we've long been waiting for. It's one of the most hyped arcs, and I can't wait to see Endeavor and friends go all out. Fall 2022 is when we'll get to see this latest installment. With that being a lot closer than it first sounds, My Hero Academia fans rejoice. Next is Blades of the Guardians. Blades of the Guardians, what? Never heard of it. I don't blame you. After all, instead of being adapted from a Japanese manga, Blades of the Guardians is the adaptation of a Chinese comic series, manhwa in short. With one look at the poster, I know you guys can guess the general gist, the idea of what Blades of the Guardians is going to be about. It's overall an honest show in terms of what it brings to the table. Swords, action, an element of drama. In addition, I like how Blades of the Guardians incorporates some historical elements with it too. It's got a premise that's common, with that of a samurai traveling to repay his debt, fighting demons along the way. In his battles to protect his family and the Sui dynasty, he uncovers secrets that even he might not come out of unscathed. The trailer also showcases the level of violence in the series, so it's a good way to gauge if the series will be to your liking. If you like something like Dororo, you should definitely consider this one. Up next we have Hell's Paradise. Gabimaru is what you'd want from a ninja. The finest member of the clan, he gets betrayed and set for execution. However, there's a problem with that. This is a man who just refuses to die. Literally, he just survives everything. Seeing this, his executioner instead offers him a chance for pardon. He'll go on a journey to look for the fabled elixir of life, and thus begins his journey to the island known as Paradise. No one who ever steps foot on the island returns alive, and with perils lurking at every corner, Gabimaru's immortality will be put to the test. With the promise of freedom and a reunion with his family at stake, he'll go through the bowels of hell itself. Now, here's an adventure series for you. Having read the manga, I'd say that it's underrated compared to its peers. The story's well structured, and I found it never running out of steam in the suspense department. If you're up for a thrilling adventure with well-written characters, perhaps this could be the show to put on your radar. And now we begin our boss rush of action anime sequels, starting off with Jujutsu Kaisen's second season. Jujutsu Kaisen short made a name for itself in the past year, didn't it? On one hand, I'd say that it's strongly helped by Demon Slayer's success, but on the other hand, I think that it's just an unfair assessment. After all, Jujutsu Kaisen is such a great shonen. A good power system, immersive storylines, characters that you care about, astonishingly good animation for the fights. These are all the ingredients of a runaway shonen hit. They're all there. And here's a little something that I want to tell you. The next main story arc is even better than anything we've seen so far. Learning about Gojo's past is cool, but Shibuya arc is where it's at. Fights more intense than ever before await, and I'm sure that a couple of hearts are going to be broken. It's my favourite arc in the series so far, and I really want to see how Mappa will knock it out of the park this time. Vinland Saga's also joining in on the fun too. Vinland Saga to me is one of the most complete action anime out there. It has a good blend of drama, character build-up, action, and emotional pull to really get me to care. However, to those who want to see more action and adventure, the thrills of the first season, I hate to be the bearer of bad news. Vinland Saga's second season will feature less of those hype fights as the story shifts in tone, but that doesn't make it a bad thing. Think something like Golden Kamui. Further emphasizes my point on Vinland Saga being such a complete action anime. I'm all in for a drama-heavy season that's full of character development and emotion. If you're up for something like this, Vinland Saga's second season sure seems promising. Then we have Mob Psycho 100 Season 3. Yep, you heard that right. Mob Psycho is coming back for a third season. But because it's one of the most popular action anime out there and how a new season comes out every 3 years, is it surprising that 2022 will see the return of Mob and Friends? There have been rumours going around that the third season is the grand finale of the series. You know, that got me hyped even more. Bones will surely do justice to this season, and I just can't help but get excited to see everything culminate in one grand climax. This is an anime getting a well-deserved third season, and my expectations are sky high. I can't wait to be thrilled and experience the magic of Mob Psycho once again. It may be sad to possibly say goodbye to a show that gave me so many goosebumps and tears, but I'm more than thankful that we have Bones' masterful adaptation to see the series through. As one masterpiece ends, another looks to step up. This is Chainsaw Man. In death, one becomes even stronger. When Denji finds himself on the wrong side of the murderous Yakuza, he finds himself facing death. However, his death only opens the window to a new life, being reborn as someone with the powers of the Chainsaw Devil. With his new power, he catches the attention of the Public Safety Bureau, who offer him a new job as a devil hunter. Now, with the promise of a life that he'd always wanted, Denji has become the worst nightmare of the world's demonic spawns. Mappa brings us the upcoming anime adaptation of this hit series from Shonen Jump. It's dark, it's violent, and it's full of black comedy. Quite the glorious set of ingredients for some insane fun, right? The thing with Chainsaw Man is that it's also serious with some profound characters, all while thematically looking nothing like a typical Shonen Jump series. Can you feel the hype already for this one? Because I sure can, and this is for sure going to be the major hit of 2022. Finally, we have Bleach making its long-awaited return.
絶望してくれるなよ。
We finally have a release date, folks. We have long gotten confirmation of Bleach's 1000-year Blood War arc getting an anime, but everyone seems so mum on the release. Now we know that fall 2022 is when we'll see the glorious return of one of the most iconic battle shonen of the 2000s. Bleach looks to adapt the final arc, but only time will tell on how they plan to adapt it. It is a very long arc, and I think that pulling a Shaman King just wouldn't do the arc justice. Please make this a long runner again. Thank you. After all, it's where so many secrets and mysteries will be solved. Ichigo's origin, the ancient Quincy War, the Soul King, all these will have answers in the grandest arc of Bleach so far. Being a fan of the series and someone who's followed the manga all the way to its conclusion, you can bet I'm excited as hell for this one. It's time to wake up and rise once again, fellow Bleach fans.